Hey, welcome back to episode Instagram podcast. I'm your host Juan, and as always, my co-host here with me. Hey, Trip.
Hey, buddy.
What's up? What's new?
I got this cool echo effect going on.
Yeah.
That you could probably hear like a tiny bit. So that's new.
Yeah. Well, we're in a new room.
Yeah.
And it's pretty empty right now.
Yeah, it's very empty.
So there's nothing to catch all the sounds.
No, but we'll get some things in here in a week or two.
Yeah.
I've got some sick ass nerd shit coming in to cover the walls in, and then I got some fucking blinds that I could put up, but I'm being a little bit lazy about it because I've been doing shit.
Point is the Instagram podcast boys got a new stew. That's what we call it. Stew Studio for short. So
Got a new stew presented by Pornhub.
sponsored by Pornhub, presented by Crunchyroll.
Yeah.
Nice. What is funny is that when you mentioned that you get art for the wall or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know how the joke came up, but apparently all of them are just pictures of Ryu from Street Fighter or whatever.
Yeah, I forgot about that. That was fucking funny.
Like,
I got the sick one of Ryu and he's doing a Hadoken, and then I got another one of Ryu and he's doing a Hadoken.
Yeah, but it's just different colored scheme or whatever.
And then there's another one and it's Ryu doing a Hadoken, but like it says player 2 on it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. So I'm excited to see those pop up.
Yeah, man. Lots of Ryus in this. Ryum.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Thanks.
Yeah. So Sierra has officially pretty much moved out, right?
Yeah.
So we have taken over her spot.
Other than, all this shit that's behind me and that we're utilizing for our podcast at the moment.
This is kind of useful right now.
Yeah, honestly, it is. Now I'm like, fuck, do I need to get another little table thing?
We're using this end table to like put our like recording stuff on.
Yeah.
Because we realized that if not, they would be on the ground. And then the thing that Trip needs to control is all the way near me. So it's really helpful.
It's whatever.
It's what it is. It is what it is.
But honestly, I should get one and tuck it in a corner or something.
It'd be nice.
I don't know. I still got to figure out what I got to do with this room, where I should put all the cool stuff.
You're probably wondering why we're talking about
boys.
the stew so
yeah.
much. It's because this week's episode is about,
It's about Saint Seiya.
Zodiac War or something like that.
Knights of the Zodiac. Saint
Zodiac.
Seiya. It's on Netflix.
Netflix.
By Netflix for Netflix.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it's not funny. We'll get into it
We'll
later.
talk about later. So it's a Netflix show. Everybody has Netflix. Everybody has the ability to watch it. It's been out for, I would say, like almost a month now. I feel like it's been that long. I feel like it's been that long.
I thought it's only been like 2 weeks.
No, it's been like a month.
Listen, man, a lot of shit's happened.
Yeah, no, I know.
Like
a lot of shit has happened.
I feel like a month ago was like, I don't know, half a year ago. Yeah, something like that.
I feel like I've lost like 3 months of my life. It's just gone by so
For
fast.
real. I'm like, Sierra's been out of here for a long time.
Yeah, she's fucking gone.
It's been 1 full week.
Has it been a full week?
Yeah, pretty much. It's been like a week and 2 days.
You know how I know? Because we have like a little magnet thing on the fridge that Sierra writes like the
stuff,
the menu for the week of like we're going to be eating,
Yeah.
So we erased it for the first week and started doing the second week. And she was like, we're trying to pick what we wanted. Thursday, she's going to, I think it's Backstreet Boys in Sacramento, right? So she goes, ooh, I don't know if I'm going to make dinner that day. I was like, don't worry about it. I'll find street food.
Yeah.
And so I wrote streets. So
nice.
And then before that, like
eating streets.
She has a long day of work on Wednesday, and she's like, I was like, I don't know what I could cook. And I was like, we could just do leftovers. So Wednesday's leftovers, and then Thursday's streets. And then Friday, I think I'm probably going to eat dinner by myself again because I'm helping Kenny move into his new home in the air base. All that being said, it's been like about a week and a half that Sierra's been gone. And I only know that because of the fucking food thing on the fridge.
Yeah.
It's pretty nifty. I like it. It's good to know what's coming up.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
You got one of those?
No.
You should get one.
No.
You should be like,
I like living in the moment.
No, you can live in the mo. It's called the mo.
No.
We're in the stew, live in the mo.
No.
Everybody knows that.
I hate you so much right now.
I know.
Everything that you say to me makes me feel just like bad about knowing you.
Lester Kyle really hates it when I say the mo, and he hates it even more because I pretend that it's like a thing that everybody says.
Yeah.
And he goes, he's like, no one says that. You've made that up. It's like, no, man, you either live in the mo or you don't, man. Like, you just get it or you don't.
It's fucking gross.
He hates me so much for it. And because he dislikes it so much, the reason I like it so much.
Well, shout outs to Lester Kyle, who's a fucking champion at knowing what's good and what's not good, like Moe's.
Lester Kyle's working at Target now, actually.
What?
He moved to the Bay.
Yeah, but he's supposed to be doing some like
he is
cool video game shit.
Well, he's a programmer, but he needs to he needs to work on his resume still. And he's living at a friend's house, kind of like Sierra was living at here. For free, like rent free. That's what I'm saying.
Well, she wasn't rent free.
I mean, she paid like utilities and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
But like, so this buddy is letting him live there with like no rent or whatever. And so he he feels some kind of way about it. So he goes like, well, I might as well get like a part-time job to like help with bills and stuff. So he's working at Target, and I'm like, dude, cool, super, super good. And he's still working on his resume. So I'm like, good on you. That is the update on Lesser Kyle.
Thanks.
Yeah. What have you been up to, man?
Oh, thank God you asked. Okay, so check it out, man. Last night I was playing Fire Emblem Three Houses for the first time.
Nice.
I was going to play it on Friday night, but then I was like, no, I should really like build some furniture and watch Saint Seiya. So that's what I did instead.
Okay.
I also watched a fuckload of Silicon Valley.
Okay. Is it new season?
No.
You just rewatched it?
Yeah, Kyle and I are watching it.
Oh, okay, cool.
So, he could experience the Silicon Valley show that's on HBO on Sundays whenever it comes out. Just a heads up.
Last season,
y'all.
I think, right?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I don't know. You never know with TV, You know. So long story short, I was playing Fire Emblem Fate. Three Houses, which people have been comparing it to Fates because that's the most recent one. And the story and characters and like literally every single part of the writing is just streets ahead of this other one, man.
Oh, it's really
Fates
good.
Fates is like Garb Town, big old Garboville, and the dump,
Oh, the dump.
Yeah, you get it?
I'm aware of the dump.
All right, so Fates is the dump.
These are my dump shoes, by the way.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
Rubbing it on your carpet.
Yeah, man, well, whatever. It's, just an American thing to wear your shoes in the house,
Do you want me to take my shoes off?
No.
Okay.
Just letting you know how American you are right now.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Thanks, man.
No problem. Anyways, it's a lot of fun. I really like the characters in Fire Emblem. The gameplay, it's kind of gameplay that I don't give a fuck about, really.
What's that?
So it's grid-based strategy games.
I know what that is. Like that's like the Fire Emblem kind of motif, though, right? Like the way they. That's how they,
exactly. Yeah. Which it's all good. It's all fun and whatnot. Just kind of like I don't really care. But the thing that so for example, Final Fantasy type games from back in the day, I guess they're all different now. You would just select a couple of attacks.
Turn-based, right?
Yeah, it was all turn-based and whatnot. And that was okay. The reason that I liked Final Fantasy so much growing up is that you get to do giant attacks every once in a while, like really cool big things. And you build your meter and you get to do that, or you summon a demon. Crazy shit like that. So that was the drive for games like that. Okay. Games like Pokemon, where it's similar. You just choose some attacks, and then it's based on, is this type better than that type? Do I do more damage? Whatever. What are the best options to do? I have a multitude of different things that I can. Who gives a shit about that, honestly? You just do better than the other people. The end. You get to catch Pokemon. That's fucking cool. I like catching shit. It's mine now. I will treat it as my own, and I have a new team, and you get to work on that. For Fire Emblem, it's just like, yeah, man, you go and fight them. Just go do it. There's nothing that really gives me any hype about it.
So are you not having a good time, or are you having a good time?
The gameplay of the fights is something I don't give a fuck about.
But the story you like.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just, it feels really basic to me. You're just like, all right, so it's a big old grid formation. You got to protect certain people. You got to do certain things. But honestly, at the beginning, your characters just get absolutely fucked unless you power level somebody, like a couple of characters, and protect all the others. The gameplay of that, it doesn't feel very good. But holy shit, I'm just playing an anime, and it's like the best anime I've ever played kind of feeling, Yeah. I'm a teacher. I like being a teacher. I'm a chick. I like being a chick. And I chose the house that I wanted to choose because it was a black eagle or something like that, and they're red, and it's cool.
Are they the Arrow Boys?
No,
they're the magic people.
Apparently,
yeah. Okay,
I don't know why they're magic people,
but they're the magic people, right?
But yeah,
that's the gist of it,
according to two people that I've talked to. Yeah. I don't know why, because I chose her because she has a fucking axe, and the other people are cool. There are 3 magic users out of 8 or something like that. So I don't know why they're the magic people.
What's
because
funny
there are others. I don't know.
Is that also I saw the cover art for this thing, and I'm like, oh cool, she's holding a little axe. I'm like, is this the clan of axes? Because the other one's lance and one is arrows, right?
Yeah,
or bows. And I was like, nope, that one's magic. I go, really? Okay, well.
Still don't know why it's magic, but I guess whatever. We'll find out more. When it was somebody lost their magic book, I went to everyone from my guild or whatever, and they were like, not me, man.
We don't know magic, man.
Nope, don't know what you're talking about.
Wrong house.
Definitely not me. And then eventually I found them, and they're like, hey, man, thank you so much for bringing this to me. Guess I've got to be more careful. And they weren't from my house. And I'm like, okay, so I don't know what this fucking magic thing's about that everyone keeps talking about, but I played like a bunch of it now. And by that, I mean, I played like 6 or so hours, which I think is a bunch.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Enough to get to know a lot of the characters because there's a really big ensemble. And then the fights, I feel like don't really add a whole lot. Characters will say like, oh man, I got your back. Like, you're so cool. And then they bond while they're in battle, which is always cool. But the biggest thing that I enjoy about this is just being able to interact with all the different characters and help them out and form their relationships by like being like, okay, you guys go work together on this, or during combat, you'll like put a few characters together. And because they've been fighting alongside for long enough and their like little team, their group or whatever that I keep together works out good, then they form relationships and you get to see like little interactions between them. And it's just kind of cool seeing the camaraderie and like how everything ties together as their teacher.
Nice.
Instead of just being like their leader or whatever, being their teacher feels a little bit more fun. Like they come to you for advice instead of being like, leader, what should we do? You're the best at this. They're like, hey man, I don't know. You're a teacher. You fucking know so much shit. And you're like, you're a fucking teacher, dude. Anyways, have this issue. Kind of want to feel like this out, but like, best. What should I do? And I really like it. It feels like that, like, hey man, I'm going to be a cool teacher for a second. And I'm just going to help you out and give you some advice kind of thing. I love it. It's great. 10 out of 10.
Sarah's been playing it too, actually.
Yeah.
She picked the fucking Lances.
Yeah.
The Blue Boys, I think.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What I thought the game was, I mean, hearing you talk about it explains a little bit better because I haven't really talked to her about it. She's been playing it. It hasn't come up. What I thought it was kind of like, I know the whole gist where you're a teacher and you teach students and then there's supposed to be a time jump or whatever.
Yeah, we haven't gotten there, but
I thought what it was going to be like, you're a teacher and you're teaching all 3 of these houses and then there's a time jump and you have to pick a house or whatever. And then like your kids were going to be randomly sorted into different houses and you go, oh, fuck, I'm going to fight the kid I love the most or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Is that what's going to happen?
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm 6 hours into the fucking game. You're talking like streets before my time.
I don't know.
Okay, so Kyle knows what the fuck's going on the most and he's not even there.
Oh, he's not even there.
He's been playing it almost nonstop. I haven't seen that kid not put it down.
That's crazy. Well, I mean...
or I guess put it down. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm using a lot of double negatives tonight. Fuck me,
Fuck you, yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, it's pretty fun, but as far as it goes... It's gameplay is something that I think I might get bored of and I won't finish it, even though I really like the story and stuff. I'll just be like, it's going to be more of that shit that I have to do that I don't really care about.
Yeah.
I'm over it.
Sorry, bud.
So even though I love it and I think it's a great game, oh man, it's not for everyone. Don't know if it's for me. We'll find out. Yeah. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and ask you what you have been doing.
For sure. I watched some of The Boys on Prime.
Yeah.
I know I talked to you about this, but I don't think we talked about it on the pod since.
No.
I think it's based off a graphic novel. I want to say it's like from Image. And it's about like this world where there's like superheroes and there's like a group of like heroes kind of like reminiscent of the Justice League. And then there's this other group of people who I think I'm not completely sure you're having on there, but I think all of them are unpowered.
Yeah.
And they've kind of just like, their job is to kill super people because the super people are kind of corrupt and they do bad things and they get away with it because they're super famous and rich or whatever and all this stuff. So I've been watching that. It's really good. I really enjoyed it. I think I'm like 3 or 4 episodes in. I think there's only 8, all on Prime. One little tidbit, like when the graphic novel was created, the artists or the people who made the main character look like Simon Pegg.
Yeah.
With the hopes that if they would ever get picked up as a movie or like a TV show, they could cast him, And people have done that in the past. When they made like the new what's his name? Nick Fury, they purposely made him look like
oh yeah, that's right.
Like Samuel Jackson.
Yeah.
So they can kind of like, hey man, he looks like you, and so they can cast him. The thing is,
didn't Deadpool make some jokes about being Ryan Reynolds or something like that? Yeah.
But the thing is, by the time they got the show off the ground, Simon Pegg is way too old to play the main character. So as a nice homage, they made Simon Pegg the dad of the main character. I was like, that's nice. That's nice. So I really enjoy it. There's a lot of, how do you say? There's a lot of violent stuff, a lot of gore, some like inappropriate sexual things, nudity, a lot of foul language. The like the one of the leader of the bad guy, the leader of this rag band, the boys. I'm gonna call them the boys. They don't have a name yet.
They will be the boys.
He will be the boys. He's not American. I think he might be like Australian or something like that. So he has an accent and he uses the C word all the time.
Oh yeah.
And it's every other word is just,
Yeah.
someone's like, that's a shock to the senses. It's great. I really enjoy it.
All right.
So I've been doing that, been watching that. I watched Crawl with Sierra finally.
Yeah.
On the other day at the movie theaters. They finally got the bar up, so I was able to get a beer. I was like, cool, I'm gonna need this for this movie that think it's gonna suck. It was actually pretty good.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I think I think the CG was pretty good. Like, that made the crocodiles look realistic, and it wasn't like anything like. It wasn't super corny like you see like those monsters attack, shark attack kind of movies you see that direct to DVD and stuff. It was like the production value was for sure better, and the actors were for sure like good actors.
Yeah,
the dialogue at points was kind of lame. I was like, oh, that's a cheesy thing to say then or whatever. But it was really like this pretty straightforward story. Like she goes to help her dad to find her dad because there's a hurricane coming. She finds him unconscious, like in the crawl space of his house. Why it's called Crawl. Yeah. And then he's just like, yep, I'm attacked by a gator. And then shit ensues. And it's not like most of the stuff just happens like in the house and like right outside the house. Like there's no like, it's pretty just focused on this one little tiny thing.
Yeah.
Where like, if this were to happen in real life, those people, if they were to survive or whatever, I'm not going to spoil it. They would be like, yeah, this is what happened, and then they would make a movie out of the thing that happened to them. Like, and it was like, oh, kind of like this movie that is happening right now. And I was like, oh, that's nice, that's interesting. I'm pleasantly surprised that I enjoyed it as much as I did. There were some really gruesome things though. Like, there's a bit where like she gets her hand bit while she's holding a gun, and she just starts shooting into the alligator's mouth, which is a crocodile. It's fucking brutal. And then like we see like the dad's like bone popping out, and we see people get chomped and like the death spiral spin thing. It was brutal. There's a dog in the movie. I will spoil this. Dog makes it. Don't worry about it.
All right. That's a huge thing for a lot of people.
I was like, oh man, are they going to kill this fucking dog? Because people would be fucking outraged, right?
It blows my mind whenever they do kill animals. I'm like, wow, good for them for being bold enough to like not get a good rating anymore.
Yeah. Like, people instantly be like, no, fuck this movie. They're masochists. They killed this poor animal. They did nothing.
Insane.
Yeah, but they had several opportunities to do it. I was like, oh, they're going to fucking do it. Like my fingers, like they're going to do it. Oh, they didn't do it. It's okay. It's fine.
Well,
So I did that. What else? Okay, so since we've been moving in, we've been slowly like picking up stuff. I bought a desk here for my computer. I bought like a whiteboard and corkboard for my room. We also bought like controllers and games for our consoles and stuff. So Sierra's playing the new Fire Emblem game. I'm playing on her PlayStation 4, and I'm playing the NBA 2K19 because I like basketball games. Because I like basketball, and I was playing it. And I was like, oh, I get it. Like I do pass and shoot and dribble, and they had this thing on the corner where they'll rate you depending on what you're doing. So if you get an assist, they go, good job, you did good, or like good pass. Here's the thing, and like with like a grade like A, B, C, D. Everything I do is wrong for some reason. There is like, no, you're stupid. You're not doing this wrong. And anytime I do anything right, I'm like, oh, cool, I did something right. And then you get penalized when someone scores on you. I'm just like, yeah, but his player is like ranked way higher than him. Like if my player's level 63, his player's a 90. Of course he's gonna get past me.
Are you playing it online?
No, I'm playing like on like the career mode.
Then why are they such a high level compared to?
Because I'm a rookie essentially. You become a rookie and you have to work your way up, right? So I get penalized for having them score on me. But then I go, yeah, but if I get scored on, why doesn't the coach just switch it so I'm guarding a different person who I can guard? So like every time I go to play, they go, cool, you're up against Jimmy Butler, you're up against Steph Curry, you're up against like the all-star on their team. I go, why don't you just put me on against someone that's also a rookie or like a bench player, someone who's like also shit because I'm shit right now, right?
Yeah.
And so that's really frustrating because I'll work really hard. I've never gotten anything higher than like a B, for a game. One time I scored 30 points in a game. I had like 8 assists. I had 2 rebounds, a block. I scored 70% from the field. I still ended up with a C minus.
I was going to say, that sounds like C material to me, man.
Oh my God, it's really good. 30 points. We only scored, the game only went to like 68 points. I scored almost half of them.
That's only like 10 3-pointers.
That's a lot. 10 3-pointers is a lot.
You know, I've seen almost everybody in basketball do at least that in a game, you know. Each person on each team makes about 3 10-pointers per game.
That is for sure not true. So
check your facts.
So the way you are frustrated with Fire Emblem, I am frustrated with the fact that like I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And then they do the thing where like you get coins, you don't get real money, you get coins when you win a game, and you can use those coins to like level up skills, like get a little faster on agility or like rebounds or 3-pointers. So I do that. And then I realize, like, now that I'm in the NBA, I'm playing for the Pistons, by the way, no big deal.
It's not
a big deal. You can like there's an open world element where you can like walk to like the stores and like, you know, get a tattoo.
Oh yeah, I actually forgot about this. I heard about that.
Get tattoos.
Super weird to me.
Or like buy shoes and clothes for your like not just on the court but also like off the court, which is weird. So I'm like, I'm an NBA player. Why wouldn't they just give me any shoe I wanted? They go, no, man, you got to use your coins to buy the shoes that you want to play with.
Yeah, because you're just gonna go and you're gonna pay for it.
Exactly, right? So I'm like, this is bullshit. Life. And so which is bullshit, right? And you can also just buy coins in the game. Like, I'm not buying $100 of fucking. Yeah. This is ridiculous.
That shit's so stupid to me. When you've already paid $60 for a fucking game,
why would I pay more money? Like,
it's vicious
to get fake shoes and fake pants and fake shirts.
Vicious because people can't fucking resist.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's horrible.
It's the only way they make money.
Anyway, I've spent $7,000 on it so far.
On Pokemon Go, yeah. No, so I was been walking around this thing, and I because I'm spending all my money on leveling up my player, right? I don't have any like coin to just spare. So whenever I went to the shoe store, I was like, oh cool, I'll buy a pair of shoes. Like, yeah, this shoe costs 5,000 coins. I go, I can get like 4 upgrades with 5,000 coins.
Yeah, not worth it.
And then they go, yeah, this tattoo, this arm sleeve costs 8,000 coins. Like that's so
man, it sucks. I guess I don't want to look cool.
So exactly. So I'm walking around and I have like, I look around me because like you're in this open world with like other people who are also like online playing, and so many of us are just wearing the same clothes.
I bet. Because people aren't idiots. Like, there are some people and they get wrapped into it. And they're like, man, I do want to look cool. Or I want to stand out amongst all these people that all look the same. But everyone else is like, nah, man, I'm just playing a game. I don't care about that. I'm just trying to play a game right now. What the fuck?
We all have like a brown shirt, gray pants, and like gray shoes.
Damn, sounds like a stylish world.
We look like we're like we belong in like a Kanye fucking Yeezy fashion show. But like you see like the basketball courts where other people playing, people have like fucking like tie-dye shirts and fucking suspenders and overalls, and you're just like, okay, I wonder how much coin that cost them.
Sounds fucking cool.
So I've been playing that. I've gotten to the point where, so the beginning part's kind of like scripted and it's like a story. Now it's just kind of, you just kind of play through your NBA career.
Do basketballs.
Yeah. I've gotten to the point where I'm like, cool, I think I can play like maybe 3 matches a day. I think I'm going to start doing that. Because if not, I'm just going to keep playing games over and over. It's like, this is maybe 3 a day and I'll be fine.
So would you say that it is or it is not Tony Hawk Underground Pro Skater 2?
That's a good question. Yeah. It is, and it also is not. The way it is because they are trying to be, like, it is the same idea. So it is not because Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2. Underground 2.
Thug 2. We'll just call it Thug for,
Thug 2 is way better than NBA 2K 2019.
Okay. All right. Good to know.
Just in my humble opinion.
Good to know.
So there's that. And then the last thing is on Pokemon Go, they finally like released fucking, what's it called?
Pokeballs.
Team Rocket.
Oh, okay.
And you can like go to a place and you can capture their you spin a Pokestop and then they go battle me, you battle them. And if you win, you get to try to capture one of the Pokemon that they have that is corrupted. And it's like glowing in this fiery purple aura.
So you're not familiar with this, but back on GameCube, there was a game called Lugia's Gale XD, I think. And essentially, that was the same plot. You would go and you would find all these corrupted Pokemon that trainers are using.
And you purify them?
Bring them and purify them. Yeah. And then eventually you fight a Dark Lugia.
Oh, nice.
And I knew about all that and was like, why didn't I fucking, like, when it came out, I didn't hear about it. And I'm like, why didn't I know about that? That sounds so fucking cool. This game's dope as hell. And then when I found out about Pokemon Go doing it, I was like, oh, they did it. They brought back Lugia's Dark Gale or whatever the fuck it's called. Lugia's Gale. Darkness prevails. DX XD.
So I'm doing that. You know, like I caught one Pokemon, and they kind of prompt you to purify it right then and there. Mm-hmm. It costs you like some candies or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they're kind of like shiny. But now I want to catch one and have it not be purified, because then you just keep them corrupted, and they have this fucking evil fucking thing. Cool. Yeah. This is the first time in Pokemon Go where I feel like I'm now out of my depths, because the battle they've changed the battle features now.
Oh, okay. So now all of your Pokemon are like low ass levels, and
it's also no longer like tap. It is kind of tap and stuff, but it's not like swipe left, right? So it's also like you can, when you do a special move, sometimes you have to zigzag or collect these things that fall from the sky.
Whoa.
And the biggest issue too is, you know, Team Rocket, they don't just have like the stock, like, hey, they have a fucking, what is it, Meowth and
Weezing,
and Arbok, right, like the snake thing or whatever.
Yeah,
they can have whatever. And the issue is, I don't actually know what Pokemons do better against other Pokemons.
Oh man! So when I play, actually have to learn Pokemon.
That's
rough for you.
Which is like, it wouldn't have been that bad if I started when I was younger. It's like, cool, it's like rock paper scissors, but you go this beats that and this. But now I'm an adult, and there's like, cool, there's fairy and steel, and like, oh fuck, and I don't want to put the extra effort to try to do the thing. So sometimes I'm playing a Pokemon, I'm getting my fucking shit kicked in by like something that's super smaller than me. I'm like, why isn't my thing? But it's like, because it's not effective, and I go, oh fuck, now I'm gonna have to bring up a chart and be like, know how to play.
You're doing a little bit of learning. It's cool.
I don't want to.
And we've all been there, man. We're like, what type beats what, and then you have to look up the Pokemon and make sure you know the types.
I think this might be like the end of like my.
I can help you significantly with certain things, like bugs come out during the night.
Yeah.
So bugs are better than darkness.
I'm gonna write that down on my fucking arm.
Mind over matter.
So mind is better than mind beats normal Pokemon? No, matter what? This is rock? Strong fighting?
Yeah.
God damn it. You see this? I can't
do
this.
And you could karate chop the fuck out of a bird. Yeah.
The way you do
certain
it
things
in real life, yeah.
Yeah, so it might help you remember a little bit better. And also, you could karate chop the fuck out of just like some regular shit.
Normal, yeah.
Yeah. you know.
So it is cool. I think the battle mechanic's great. I just think that now that it is becoming more like Pokemon, I am slowly losing interest with the fact that I don't know how to actually play Pokemon.
Hey man, it's fine. You'll get there. So hey, on the topic of Pokemon, I really do want to talk about this because I feel like this is something that hasn't been brought up anywhere that I've seen so far.
Okay.
The new Fire Emblem game just came out. Fantastic reviews. Just fucking incredible. It's getting 9s across the board. It has, I think, a 9.4 or 6 or something like that on Metacritic.
Down.
And it looks pretty shitty to me.
Really?
Yeah, the 3D animation and whatnot. Just everything looks like it's kind of shitty, and the textures are kind of shitty and all the background stuff. And honestly, a lot of it looks pretty shitty. I don't care at all, because I'm in it for the game and the story and the characters and all of that stuff, right? But people made such a huge fucking fuss about Pokemon. I think that a lot of the textures in the new Pokemon game coming out that they've shown off look a lot better. Some of the animations are kind of lazy and whatever, and that's totally legitimate. And there's nothing else where like you could see that they didn't put much effort into it, whatever. But honestly, the characters and the Pokemon and everything look pretty good in comparison to Fire Emblem. They're both Switch games. Nobody's saying Fire Emblem looks like shit.
Even though it does, in your opinion?
Even though it totally does. And like, it blows my mind that people are talking so much shit about the Pokemon graphics.
Haters gonna hate, Doug.
The game's not even out yet, and it looks so much better than the Fire Emblem stuff.
I don't think I've seen anything with the Pokemon thing besides like them revealing like the legendaries and like this fucking main people, right? Those animations were kind of shit in my opinion, but those aren't gameplay animations, right?
No.
Is it look more like the Pikachu Go and Eevee Go? I actually like those. I thought they looked pretty good.
Except like they went for a little bit more realistic detail on background settings and trees and shit.
And people are mad because of that?
No, they're mad because it looks like Nintendo 64 textures and stuff. And I'm like, I mean, it's a little bit more detailed than that, but I understand where they're coming from. But it doesn't affect shit.
Dude, people are just going to complain. People are just going to complain about stuff. They go, we want a fucking Pokemon game for a console. And they go, all right, we'll give it to you. And then they go, we don't like the way it looks because. Just because.
And we don't like that it's not exactly what we all wanted, which is the perfect Pokemon game. And it's like, cool, you're never going to get that.
Yeah.
I remember when Sun and Moon came out, people were like, yeah, I don't really fucking know about this whole trials thing, man. I kind of hate the fuck out of it. Where the fuck are my gyms? And I'm like, man, they were doing a new thing. Just let them do it. And like, whatever, it's cool. We got a lowland Pokemon and we got new Pokemon, and it's all good.
I didn't mind
fun.
that. I
thought it was a cool, new, fresh twist on it.
I didn't like the Z moves. I thought those were kind of boring in my opinion.
People fucking loved them.
Yeah. I mean, aren't they getting rid of them again though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because people get rid of shit. Like, every Pokemon game is just like, the first one says, hey, what's up? We're Pokemon. This is our game. The second game was like, hey, you guys like that first one? Guess what? We're doing the same thing. And the third one was like, all right, so like the berries from the last one are going to be like way different. And you're like, oh, that's cool. So you guys are doing more stuff with this. Like, and we're doing some cool other stuff like diving, and you guys are getting into it. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. And then the fourth generation comes out and like, wait, no, fuck that berry thing. Like, we're done with that. Totally changing it up again on there. Diving shouldn't be a thing. We should have never done that. So let's get rid of that. And then like, they revise stuff and they constantly put in new things. And they're like,
when did they add the thing where like you would like send your Pokemon to a weird island and you would like kind of, they would pop up and you would tap on them and shit like that. Remember that? I played that on Moon, Sun and Moon or whatever. You would like send your Pokemon somewhere and then there's like this little island thing.
I think Sun and Moon.
That was it? Okay, cool.
Literally every game is just like,
something new.
Hey, any gimmick type things,
Here we go.
That's the new thing.
I mean, no, it makes sense because like the people were fucking bitching about the fact that they wanted Pokemon on the Switch and then they got Eevee and Pikachu thing and people were like, yeah, we got it. And they found out, oh wait, it's more like Pokemon Go. And I was like, yeah, I get that's not what you wanted, but you kind of got what you wanted. Get over it.
I didn't want Pokemon Let's Go at all.
But it's there. You can't stop it. It's just
nothing wrong with it.
Yeah,
it just was not the game for me in any capacity.
Yeah.
I was like, I mean, maybe I've played the fuck out of Red and Blue, so I don't know if it's going to be my thing. And then when they said like, oh yeah, it's kind of like Pokemon Go, I was like, yeah, no, it's definitely not for me.
Yeah, I'll wait for when you do Pokemon, yeah.
And then when they decided to actually do Pokemon, I'm like, oh, this looks great. And they're like, here's the new gimmick. And I'm like, this looks like it could be fun, kind of dorky, but fun. And then they're like, oh, here's another gimmick. And I'm like, that's another cool little gimmick. And people are like, I fucking hate these gimmicks. Bring back my old gimmicks. I'm like, all right, guys. Well, the Z moves are annoying.
The gimmicks from last season were better.
The megas were really cool and they have different forms and stuff. But the way that they were implemented was really stupid. And like lots of little things that I just don't like aren't making returns. And they're doing new stuff that I probably won't like. But I'm like, cool. You're trying new stuff. I like it. That's how you improve. You
Good
do
job.
new things. Yeah. People are really bitter. And I just think that you should try to appreciate everything that you can, except for Saint Seiya. Hey, man, you want to talk about anime?
Yeah, I did want to talk about one more weird thing.
Yeah, tell me the weird stuff, and then I'll tell you another thing.
Okay, so you ever just like kind of find someone on like online and you kind of like go, what's the deal with this person?
Yeah.
And you kind of like stalk them a bit.
Yeah.
That happened to me today.
Oh.
And I got stuck
on
in
what?
On Facebook.
Okay.
So I'm a part of this group on Facebook that's called like Rusty Animators or something like that. And it's just kind of a place for people it's like a online community where you can post your animations and then people will critique them and no one's good. I mean, no one's great.
Everyone just doing what they can.
It's just people helping each other out.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, cool. So I've joined that. I haven't posted anything, but I have commented on a few people being like, oh, try this and try that. Today something popped up that blew my mind. It was like a walk cycle, which, it's pretty simple, right?
I've seen them.
And it's like, and it stays in place. So it's like, they're just essentially, it's like, depending on what, traditionally it's like 8 poses, just repeated, right?
Boom, 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 boom. Yeah.
So they did that, and but it was drawn, like hand drawn, and like it was drawn poorly, and then it was also like it looked like a kid had done it, and they didn't use the right like I would say like camera to do it. Like when they literally must have just taken pictures on their phone, and then every time they took the picture, they had it crooked or not the same. So like it was like jumping around.
So it wasn't like they didn't have it stable.
No, yeah. And I was like, that's interesting. I'm gonna look at this and get a better idea of what's going on here, right? So I click on it and I go, okay, obviously the person doesn't know they should need to have the camera steady, and then that doesn't move at all because this is going to affect the way the animation works, right? And then I was like, maybe it's a kid. If it's a child, you don't want to be too hard on them and be like, yo, dude, you suck or whatever, you know? And it was like, and said, hey man, this is my first go at a walk cycle. I've only been doing the legs. I didn't do the arms because I want to get down the basics of just doing the legs, and then we'll work our way up from there. And I go, oh cool, the person who's doing this obviously is like trying to like do it, and he's being positive. I'm like, okay, great. So I look at his page, and it's like the photo of like an older man and like an older woman. And I go, So I scrub a few, and I go, oh, it's just this. It's an older man that's doing this, like
just for fun,
way older.
Yeah.
And I was like, huh. And it says like what he is. Like, hey, you know, he's a magician and like illusionist for a specific place in somewhere here in California. And I go, what is going on here? I need to know more about this guy. And so that was his second post. He'd posted an animation before that, and it was like a stick kick, and it was really bad. In the sense that like the animation was like this one was done digitally. It must have been done in like Photoshop, but like it was done like, so he would move from he was in position A, and then position B he would be a step ahead of it. Like he would the person moved completely, and then his leg would go up, and nothing was done in the right order. So it looked really like mechanical. And I was like, this is not that good, right?
Yeah.
And I go, what's this guy's deal? Like, is it like he wants to pick up a hobby, or like he's trying to be an animator? You know, because if he wants to, like, you know, more power to him. So then I find his YouTube page. And he has like videos on like his animations, videos on him doing like close-up hand magic stuff. He has videos of him doing this. It was like a 5-minute, I didn't watch all of it. It was a 5-minute video of like him doing comedy and talking about how to do puns. And it was like how to help like screenwriters and people who are writing.
He really likes teaching.
Yeah, he's like, he wants, and he has like I don't remember what his name was, what his business name was, but it's like something entertainment incorporation or something like that. Like, and I was like,
yeah, some generic ass shit.
It's like, it was like, I'm really curious what this dude's deal is. And so like, I was like, I gotta watch one of these fucking magic videos. And he's like, and the title was like coins appearing from nowhere. And so there's like a mat, right? And like the camera's like, I think like on the table in front of it, like not on like on a stand or whatever, but it's like must be on the table because like every time he moves it kind of vibrates.
Yeah.
So he does like the beginning part where like he does like, my hands are open, you know, open hand magic, no trickery here, no coins in the sleeves, you know, and he does like all of that for a bit. And then he puts his hands down and he's doing he's doing like things, gestures to be like what's it called, to
misdirect.
Thank you. He's like doing his misdirection or whatever. And then I see like he puts his hand down and like there's a mat, and there's just like a big old lump on the mat. There's like a lump on the mat, and I see him like put his hands down like 7 seconds in the video, and he just like pushes his other hand back. And he misdirection again, and I see him just pull something out, and then like the mat is now perfectly flat, and I go, this fucking son of a bitch. He's like the worst magician ever. Like the coins are underneath the mat, and then he's like, he does again, and he pulls out a big coin and he drops it, and he misdirects again, and now his hand is like fucking full of quarters or something like that, and he's like pulling quarters out of this other hand, and he's like, he drops them and he does the old razzle dazzle. I'm like, oh my god, like this fucking guy is killing it. And the thing is, like, he's got like 100 and something followers, and I think it's more like people maybe he knows, whatever. Yeah, he's got like 11 views, maybe 12 now because of me on like all of his videos. And he did one where he was like, he did a green screen on his hand, and he's like, it was like Terminator hand. Green screen on his hand, it was cut right here, or at the wrist. And then there was like a gif of like a really poorly animated Terminator hand, like opening and closing. And he was like, yeah, look at this. And like,
but of course it like wasn't perfectly matched up. So his arms kind of like wiggling, and then the hands static.
And then he would do like video effects. So like there was like flares and like the aqua thing. And I go, oh, whose grandpa is this?
This grandpa is cool. That's who.
So I had to stop because I was like, man, I feel weird because I'm like, at one point I wanted to like, I kind of want to help him with these animations, and then I go, no, this guy's living him like the best life he could possibly do. Like
absolutely.
He's out there like producing stuff in many different fields. He's an animator and a magician, and he also did this thing where in his fucking Facebook he had like a poorly drawn thing where it was like a hand and it had like cards flared out, and he goes like, this is just a drawing of my next painting, it's gonna be full color or whatever. And I go,
oh shit.
And then people are just like, oh dude, great drawing or whatever, and someone's just like, wow, that should be great. He goes like, yeah, it should be hard or whatever, all the detail and whatnot. It's like, but I'm really excited. And I go like, yeah man, who am I to shit on this guy? Like he's
living his best life.
He's living him, and he's super happy. And I go, yeah, I should be more like this guy. Like,
You
know,
make a shitty podcast and you don't even post any of your animations.
exactly. So I'm like, so I go, you know what?
He's good. He's having a good time.
Yeah. So like, and you know, I don't want to bring any negativity on him. He's not that good at anything that he does, but it's like, but he doesn't fucking care. He's out there doing it. So I'm like,
Yeah.
cool, good for him. And I just wanted to talk about that.
It's fun.
It was fun.
You notice those boxes that I had on my table?
Yeah.
You know what they are? Virtual reality.
I got VR stuff.
Yeah, I haven't set anything up clearly because they're still in the boxes, but I got a Vive. So eventually I'm going to be just making a flesh house and bothering a bunch of people in it.
Oh, you can do that weird thing where like they go to like the VR world.
Maybe.
No,
yeah. All the time.
Okay. Because I've always been curious. That's on PlayStation, right? That's like a
No, it's a Steam game. Yeah, it's VR chat. And you just can go into whatever
jump
rooms
into
that people
skin or whatever,
curated. Yeah. I don't know. I'm going to find, if I can, a lot of those like kind of shows that people have made that are meant to be in VR. And
Okay.
like you go and you watch like a crazy fireworks show with insane music and all this stuff. Because it's essentially just like I want to say it's like Second Life, but virtual reality.
Yeah.
So,
I get what you're saying.
I want to go check it out and see what other people have made out there.
Nice.
But maybe not. I don't know. It's pretty intimidating. I don't like doing things with people. So I might just play a bunch of like Beat Saber games with like
Actual songs, yeah. Not just the same 10 songs on
Yep.
PlayStation.
Any song I feel like.
Well, I'm glad.
Probably all anime songs. Let's be real.
I'm glad that we spent this huge chunk of time talking about other stuff because obviously we don't want to talk about this main topic because it's not the best thing.
Yeah, so let's talk about other anime first.
Let's go. Yeah, what have you been watching, man?
Okay, cool. So I'm all caught up with Vinland. Well, I guess the 4th episode just came out recently, but Vinland Saga, I've watched 3 episodes. I'm really liking it so far. I want to see more. It's just good. It's pretty straightforward and simple. There's not a lot to like figure out or keep up with, but everything is really good. They have really strong characters that are interesting. They've got lots of really great action. I'm excited to see where else the show goes. I'm very interested in it.
Okay, good.
So I want to see more of that. Copcraft is okay. It's fine. I'm still enjoying it. Still going to keep watching it. To the Abandoned Sacred Beasts, also still good. I'm done with Fire Force.
And you're done with Dr. Stone also, right?
Kyle, I think, is going to keep watching Dr. Stone.
The other day you literally said, I don't give a fuck about Dr. Stone.
I absolutely do not.
Isn't that like, can you just draw the line there? You just drop it.
I mean, I'm down to hang.
Look, you dropped it.
I don't hate it. There's just nothing
You don't care
there for
about it.
me.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah. When I started comparing things to other shows and whatnot, I realized that Dr. Stone had lots of interesting things with no characters that I care about, and nothing interesting was happening.
Not even the Dr. Stone's your favorite?
Dr. Stone was boring as fuck.
Dr. Stone's the rock thing. That's what he called it.
Yeah.
That's funny.
It's just a rock.
Yeah, it's soap. Soap
Yeah.
rock.
But man, I don't know. It's just such a...
Oh, well.
It has so many cool things, so much cool potential, and it doesn't deliver in the ways that I would like, which is through characters.
Yeah.
I still have the argument of what the fuck are these two characters doing together? Why do they even care about each other? And you're like, they're friends. And I'm like, but why?
I don't know. Why are we friends?
Honestly, because we have a lot of shared interests and we get each other's comedy.
Don't feel the sentiment.
There's a lot of things that bring us
that makes
together
sense, yeah.
versus this guy's a genius, that guy's dumb. He protected the genius guy for like a second.
I don't know, man.
And that was it.
I can't argue it besides the fact, because like I don't, because obviously I haven't watched it and I don't know the story.
It's not, what I'm trying to say is, I get it. It has a lot of things that are there, but it doesn't have the thing that I'm really yearning for right now that I really care about, which is characters and story. It's got like an okay, really rudimentary story of, this is our goal. Our goal has been slightly diverted, and now it's still our goal, but we also have to do some other shit.
I think I'm going to keep watching Dr. Stone. I guess I do agree with the point that like the characters aren't that, what's the word?
They're not
interesting.
dynamic.
Yeah, they're pretty straightforward. I'm the smart guy. I'm the fucking guy that works hard or whatever, but I'm a dumbass.
And then there's the girl that's going to be slightly smarter than the dumb guy.
But also not smart or whatever,
Yeah. And then there's going to be the villain who is
Buff guy McGee.
he's really smart, he's really buff, and he wants utopia.
He's evil but not evil kind of thing. Yeah, I get it. No, I understand.
I don't want any bad people to exist in the world. And then Dr.
Which is a good
Stoneboy,
sentiment, right?
Yeah.
But you go, but that also means you're going to kill everybody just because what do you define as bad, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Kind of messed up, but whatever.
But so I haven't caught up. I mean, sorry, keep going. What else have you watched? Have you watched any more of the
Maidens?
Oh, Maidens, yeah.
I like it.
What about the girls in fucking school or whatever?
Wasteful Days.
You liking it?
I like it.
Okay.
Those two shows are so fucking good, and High Dive has earned my utmost respect
For this season, because next season they might fucking shit the bed.
Absolutely, they might totally. But hey, man, High Dive's crushing it. They got 2 incredible shows.
Is it safe to say that High Dive is the powerhouse of anime?
Is safe to say these days.
It's the powerhouse of anime.
I would never say that about anything other than Pornhub. Pornhub is the powerhouse of anime.
And Hulu. Hulu's the powerhouse of anime.
I mean, I guess. They're like the self-proclaimed, so like whatever.
Yeah, it's proclaimed.
Pornhub's never said that they're the powerhouse of anime.
Who was that? There was a dumb show that was on MTV for like a while, and it was just like some guy said, "Hey man, I'm this and that," and someone said, he said, like, I'm the best bad boy of this town or whatever. And the guy goes, yeah, it's self-proclaimed, though. Like, his brother's a little bit smaller than that. He goes, yeah, it's self-proclaimed, though. And he goes, so what, dog? It's proclaimed? Like that was his, like, rebuttal. Like, yeah, but it's been proclaimed. I was like, yeah, by yourself, though. Like,
but you're the one who fucking did this.
I think it was, like, a Ryan Sheckler kind of vibe show, but they waked board or some shit like that. I don't know.
Yeah,
I just remember that.
Same shit.
Yeah, self-proclaimed.
Different day. That's pretty funny. Yeah, let's see. I don't think I've been watching any other anime, but I have started watching Non-Non-Buri, and I feel like it would be a lot of fun. There was a fun ass little clip from it that I don't think I sent you, but I really enjoyed it from the first episode. And I'm like, you know what? This show's okay. It's a slice of life. It's all right. But then there were a few jokes that really got me, and there was one in particular where it was like, whoa, I did not fucking expect that. That was like a very different joke. That was good. This show's clever. This show's great.
What kind of show would you compare it to? With slice of life wise? Is it more like Colors? Is it more like Nichijou? Is it more like what kind of slice of life is it?
I want to say it's like, fuck, it's a hard one.
Come on.
It's a school anime, but the thing is, they're all girls that live in the country, and they all go to the same school, but there are only like 4 people that go to school.
Okay.
One's in 1st grade, one's in 5th grade, one's in 7th, and one's in 9th.
Okay.
So they're very different. And then instead of it just being like little skits, it's kind of just like their day with bits in between of like what they're doing throughout the day. So that's why it's so hard to say.
That is
like,
a hard one, yeah. I was about to say, is it like that weird show, that fucking The Stars show or whatever? With
the Lucky Star.
But I was like, nah, that's just, the only reason that would be, it's because they're school and they're different grades. But this sounds like they're way different in age, you know? Like,
yeah, that's why it's so hard. That's why I'm like, I almost said Azumanga Daioh just because Chio-chan is so fucking small, but their age is like, her age is still like way younger than them, but their mental age is like the same.
Yeah.
So they're all different, and it's really interesting just seeing that group. One girl comes in from the city, and now she's hanging out with them. She doesn't realize exactly what it's like to live in the country. And then a couple of them are like, we don't fucking live in the country. That's a whole bit through the first episode, is like one of them being, it keeps saying like, no man, we're not fucking country people. Like, this is why we're not country people, because country people are like this.
Oh, it's
and
like,
then like
okay.
The first grader is just like, so are we country people or not? And like trying to figure it out until eventually they miss the bus home from school. So they have to like wait for the next one. And they're like, oh man, such a bummer that we missed the bus. And then the new girl's like, well, how long is it going to be until the next one? She's like, 2 hours. That's just life in the country. And the first grader's like, wait. Long story short, Non-Non-Buri is fun, and I think we should review it next week, but it's up to you. You can watch the first episode and be like, I don't want to do this shit. Let's watch this instead, and then we'll do that.
Okay.
So let's fucking talk about news.
Okay.
I don't know. Do you have more anime you want to talk about?
No, we're good.
All right. Fuck, dude. Jesus. All right. So
shit.
No, I'm not actually. Like, hey man, do you like TV?
Yes.
Me too. Guess what? I like when other shows get more seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a second season of Zombieland Saga that's been announced. Whoa.
Yeah. Is it called like Zombieland Saga Revenge or something like that?
It's called 2.
No, it had. I think it had a sub, like a sub name or whatever. I read somewhere.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I think it did. I'll try to look it up too.
Yeah, I'll find it just as fast as
I'll find
you
it
do.
faster than you will.
I've already found it, and it says that you are wrong.
I'm pretty sure I'll find it in 20 seconds from now.
20. That's like a lot of seconds, though, guys.
I have
Revenge.
It's called Revenge, right?
Yeah, Zombieland Saga Revenge Season 2.
That's what I said.
Yeah, that's what I said.
You fucking asshole. Anyways, yeah, that's great. I'm not the biggest fan of Zombieland Saga, especially after Mappa made me watch it again for some reason at the Mappa fucking
very weird thing.
panel. But I do know several people who are important to me who love this show. So good for them. I'm happy they're going to get a second season.
Yeah, it's neat. And then Zombieland 2 was announced like at the same time.
It was, yeah.
Which was very.
I think it's
like
a
very zombie
it's called
day.
Double Tap, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's going to be fun.
About time, right?
Yeah, zombie stuff's happening, but I'm pretty excited about Zombieland Saga Revenge Season 2 being announced. On the topic of exciting things, Violet Evergarden is still planned for January 2020 for its theatrical film release.
Okay.
So I'm pretty excited about that. Along with that, Kyoto Animation Survivors have returned to work, and the data that was on KyoAni's Studios 1 server, everything was able to be recovered entirely.
Wow, that's great.
There was no data loss.
That's awesome.
There's a lot of terrible things that happened. It's pretty remarkable that they were able to save all of their information.
And it's great that, some of those people are getting back to work. And, I'd assume that, like, after going through something so horrible like that, trying to get back to something what you consider normal would be great. So that's awesome.
It's pretty cool news just hearing that everything's starting to go back to the way that things were. Of course, I'm sure the industry has changed as a whole from this devastation.
I hope that something like that never happens again.
For those that don't know, 35 people died from an arsonist attack at one of Kyoto Animation Studios.
Yeah, we talked about this last week. I think it's happened. It was 2 weeks ago.
It's been a couple of weeks now.
Yeah. So that's awesome. Good for you guys, KyoAni. Keep up.
Pretty much, there's not a whole lot of anime news because all of it is very focused on Kyoto Animation and all of the good things that are happening for the studio, despite the terrible events that preceded.
Yeah.
There's some cool visuals of different stuff that's coming out. There's some, they're going to make another Digimon series that's like Digimon Tri.
But with the
second season.
Digimon Adventures.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I don't think... is it Adventures?
Digimon...
It's not Frontier, is it?
Frontier's the third
3.
one. Digimon...
2.
What are they called, though? It's a different thing.
Rangers.
Right? I'm going to look it up.
Yeah, you should.
I just got to look it up.
I'm just going to guess a bunch of things. Friends.
I wanted to say it was Adventures, but that might be the first one.
Yeah, honestly, I felt like the first one and the second one were so connected that like it could just be Adventures 2, but I don't know for sure because Frontier was like, yeah, we're just doing a different thing here. But
let's see.
Anyways, they're showing some images of the older characters now that they've grown up again. So they're showing what season 2's characters look like as adults, which is pretty cool. Haikyuu season 5 was announced officially, like with some artwork. Like we already knew season 5 was coming out, but there's just artwork of stuff. What is it?
Season 1 and 2, which is like what we would in the States we call season 1 and 2, are adventures.
Yeah.
After that is Tamers, which is like the card one.
Oh yeah.
4 is Frontier.
Gotcha.
And there's Data Squad, Fusion, Adventure Tri, and then
yeah.
So
Adventure Tri is the one where they are all grown up.
It's the first one.
So
but
Adventure
adults,
Tri 2, whatever the fuck they're going to call it.
Electric Boogaloo. I think I might have shared some of these images, or I liked it.
It's pretty cool.
Like a kid, I liked Digimon growing up. I wasn't, super gung ho and all about it. I was way more into like Frontier because that's when I was like a kid and was able to like watch TV regularly. But it is cool to see like, hey, remember those little kids? Now they're grown up and stuff. I do remember you telling me that you weren't the biggest fan of Try.
Wasn't a big fan.
Yeah, but
it felt like it was made for people that were a little bit older than like Digimon age.
Okay.
To watch it, but like I'm a lot bit older.
Yeah, you're like,
so it didn't hit me in the same ways that it would have if I was.
I know they're releasing
age.
the new Digimon Adventure Try like movie, right? It's like Agumon's gonna say goodbye to fucking. What's his name? Ty or whatever. Yeah. And it's like, I've been seeing the trailer for that and I go, fuck, man. Heartstrings over here, man. You know, fucking shit.
Pretty big moves.
Yeah. And it makes sense for them to kind of say goodbye to these characters and then bring in the next group of kids and then have them now be older kids, right? Like
they also interacted with each other.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
So like essentially season 1 Digimon boys were like, hey, we got some advice for you guys since, you know,
they handed
we're like mentors now.
Yeah, they kind of like pass on their torch of knowledge and stuff like that.
Because Kairi, I'm pretty sure that
Kairi was
and fucking
the
what's
little brother.
Fucking
dumbass face.
Was his name TK?
I think it is TK, yeah.
Okay, then what's the Matt and TK? Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, the two younger siblings from the first season, they were part of they were the core part of the core for the second season. Yeah, I do remember that.
But they got incorporated a little bit later or something. I don't know.
But eventually the second season of Adventure just kind of it was just kind of their own thing. So it would make sense to say goodbye to these characters, say hello to these other characters. Yep. Some of the designs are pretty cool. I don't like the main character one. I like the chick.
It's because he looks like the same.
Yeah, but the chick does like kind of like she looks kind of hippie now. I was like, oh, I kind of
I'm down.
like that. I like this.
It's cool.
Yeah.
So and that's the kind of stuff that is hard for us to be like, hey, here's news. It's mostly just like, there are new pictures. You should look at them.
Yeah. For those things, those are pieces of news, but we can't talk about them besides describing them. Sierra does on Instagram.
Yeah,
and she
go
shares.
Check out our Instagram. Every once in a while, we'll share stuff on Facebook and Twitter as well.
What are they called? Promotional images. That's what they call A bunch of promotional images get dropped up on Instagram. So check those out.
Cool. That's news.
Cool. Let's get into this week's topic.
Oh my God. Okay. So Knights of the Zodiac, Saint Seiya. It's made by Netflix and Toei. You know what Toei makes?
Naruto.
So many probably. I don't know, like One Piece and Dragon Ball and Neon Genesis Evangelion.
They're like the super, super old.
They've been around for a million years.
Yeah.
They have a mouse, I think, is their fucking like a little cowboy mouse.
It's a musketeer. It's a musketeer cat.
Okay, so it's a musketeer. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Long story short, they've made a billion things, and this is just another one that they're like, and we'll add it in here. I don't know if they're technically a studio. They might be like a parent studio for like a shitload of things or some kind of a corporation.
Some sort of distribution thing, yeah.
Long story short, Netflix was like, hey, we want to remake this anime. And they were like, yeah, sure, cool, we own it. So like you guys can do it or whatever. And
give
like,
us some money.
We'll give you some advice. We're all good. Let's do it. And then Netflix was like, cool. So like, Dragon Quest? And they were like, hell yeah. And they were like, yeah, let's just make it look like that. And they were like, sounds good to me. Hey, also, this is the part where we get into the episode where I'm like, go fuck yourself, Netflix, because what the fuck is this shit, dude? I got jerked around so hard because I thought this was going to be a TV show. It turns out that it's a recap series, I
don't even know what it is, man.
That's what I'm going to call it because... there are parts where it's like, don't worry, we got story for you. We love story. And then like 5 minutes go by and then they're like, hey man, 7 weeks ago. And you're like, how are we here right now?
I want to say it's not a recap series.
It's not.
I want to say it's a show. It just the pacing is horrible.
Oh
that's what I want to say it is. Okay,
well,
so check it out.
That's what you can say, but I'm going to argue that nobody knew what they were doing, and like they hired a bunch of recap directors, and they were like, "I'm fucking amazed. You remember episode 8 of this show? Yeah, the recap."
The only reason I don't say it's a recap is because they would say, "Hey,
absolutely."
Yeah,
I mean, it's not legit like a recap thing, but every episode feels like, "Hey, here's a little tidbit from this. Remember? Hey, here's a little bit of this. Remember?" And I'm like, from the original story that I never saw. I remember that.
Exactly. So the first interaction or encounter I have with Saint Seiya is, I think, not last year, the year before that, going to Anime Expo. We have an Uber driver, right? And he's talking to us about, like, we're talking about anime. He's Latino. I think he might be Mexican or whatever. And, we're like, we're explaining him what Anime Expo is. And he goes like, yeah, like Dragon Ball Z, because that's just kind of one of the ones that's really good for people who don't know. Or Pokemon, like, there's always a good one to try to...
really generic, like, it's a very general, nobody fucking knows,
it's
but like, sure,
it's like,
okay.
You want to talk to your parents about what anime is, you go, you know, like Pokemon, and they go, ah, yes, like Pokemon. So we say that to him, he goes like, oh yeah, I remember Goku. Who's like, Goku, because that's what the fucking Mexicans call Dragon Ball Z. They just call it, or Dragon Ball Z or Goku, that's it. But he goes, yeah, when I was growing up, I would watch this show called this. I remember him saying the words, and I was like, fuck, is his accent so thick that I can't understand it? Or
like Seiya.
Yeah, or is the name of the show so Japanese that there's no way I'm going to guess it.
Yeah, me either. And I'm like, as a kid, I would not fucking remember what Saint Seiya was.
Yeah. Luckily, Sierra or you or someone was able to type it up on their phone. They go, yeah, like, oh, this is what you're talking about. I'm like, yeah, this is for sure an anime. And then we said, by the way, it actually looks like they're getting a new season on Netflix. Like we mentioned it to him, like as and he goes, oh, really? That's awesome. And that was my first that's the first encounter I had with Saint Seiya. And the second encounter was I think not this season, last season anime. They had a Saint Seiya show, but it was Girl Saint Seiya, and it was like, oh, is this the show we were supposed to be getting from Netflix? I was like, oh no, this is different. And that show kind of sucked. So I was like, ooh, fingers crossed on this one, Netflix one.
I don't even remember that one.
You don't remember that one? It was really bad.
Honestly, I don't.
Okay, so let's do a quick thing about what Saint Seiya is. Yeah.
Essentially, it's a pretty good, very shonen. We're talking like
meat and potatoes of what a shonen should be, right?
This is Digimon level shonen.
Yeah.
It's for young boys,
for sure.
You know,
the plot is pretty it's pretty straightforward, right? You know, apparently in I don't know if it's every 100 years. I think it might be every 1,000 years or whatever.
Every period of time.
Hades and Poseidon fucking declare war against Athena, right? It's Athena.
Yeah. Which suddenly we start seeing all these constellations, all these Zodiac, they start becoming warriors in a way or another, or they find people that have the power within them to become warriors of these Zodiac.
So Athena, to protect herself from this war or whatever, gets these Zodiac warriors or knights or whatever, and she collects them and trusts them with this armor and these powers, kind of a la, say, like Power Rangers, right?
Puts them through some trials in some way or another.
And then she goes, cool, you guys are now Zodiac Knights, and your job is to protect me, right? And in my head, it was like, oh, cool, they're just kind of like Power Rangers. No. The Zodiac Knights have so many fucking rules that it's ridiculous. They go, you can't use your Zodiac Knight powers for anything that's to
you gotta be
help
good.
yourself, right?
Yeah.
You got to be good. Apparently, you also can't use weapons, right? There's caveats to get away from it. Like one of the characters' armor uses chains or whatever.
And you can't fucking use chains. That's a weapon.
He goes, it's my armor, bro. It's not even a weapon. It's a part of my armor, right? So there's all these rules, and so it's they're not really Power Rangers, they're not really superheroes. They're more we're here to protect Athena. That's the gist of what the lore is. And in this show, we get introduced to our main character, whose name is Seiya, right? And his sister, I think it's little sister.
Yeah, his little sister
gets abducted by some people. Try to get abducted by some people with guns and ski masks and stuff, and then they get saved by a Golden Knight.
Hell yeah!
And she gets hurt in the altercation, and then the Golden Knight takes her away, and then that's the last time he sees her. And then that's just kind of the beginning of the show. It leads on.
And you're like, this is oddly dark.
Yeah, I go, cool, okay, cool. I actually kind of like the beginning. I was like, nice. So we're getting some fucking plot and some backstory, and we're getting some fucking
bad guy looks kind of dumb, but that's fine.
Yeah, and but we're getting some information on what's gonna happen, and then we get a time jump. I think it's 6 years or something like that.
Yeah.
No, it must be less than that or more than that, because there's also another time jump later that's also 6 years. Our kid is older now. He's in an orphanage. He's riding skateboards. And we know he's a good guy because he throws a can in the trash bin and doesn't make it. He goes back and picks it up and throws it back in the trash bin.
And he doesn't make it, and he does it one more time.
So one more time because he's a good person.
Yeah. So that's how we know he's a saint, bro.
He also stops somebody from getting mugged. And then when he's getting beat up, he literally says, I'm a good guy. That's the word. He literally says, I'm a good guy. And I go, oh, this guy must be a good guy.
He says, what the hell? A little bit too much to be just a regular old good guy,
but he's a good guy, dog. His powers activate, which kind of starts...
On accident.
Yeah, which kind of starts this whole, succession of actions and, things. Someone takes him away to an island they like chloroform him, right?
Yeah, essentially.
And then they give him the fucking lowdown. They go, hey man, you have the powers of a saint. We think you're the Pegasus, which by the way is one of the best ones out there.
And he's like, yo, I don't really care about this. So what do they do to like get him into this? They go, we know about your sister. He's like, fuck. Yeah, well, I guess I gotta.
It's a shonen, right?
You guys know about.
Yeah.
Oh man.
The one thing
so
I
I could go
about-
and save my sister. The one thing that I care about. Fuck. Okay, let's go.
So he begrudgingly agrees to go to this island to get trained. After more fucking army people show up and raid the place that where he's at.
Yeah.
He ends up on an island, and then we get another fucking jump time skip of 6 years this time. He says it's 6 years. And he's like at the end of a tournament that had thousands of people competing in it, apparently. But we just get to see the last fight.
I'm like, all right, cool, tournament arc.
First,
but
But for a second I thought, oh, maybe like I was like, maybe like I missed an episode, or maybe like I closed my eyes and fell asleep for a bit, right? Because like apparently this tournament was like thousands of people and we're seeing the last fight.
What I was kind of expecting is we've told this story enough. Let's just get to the part where
gist.
we, change stuff up. No,
Yeah,
that's just how they tell the story now.
Yeah. And so he fights some big dude, and he wins the rights to become a bronze knight, which is like the lowest level of a knight, right? Like every knight's at that level, and then like there's always higher knights after that. And he gets the armor for the Pegasus armor, and then he leaves the island, and then instantly goes to another fighting arc, right?
Yeah, which I was like really fucking confused. They spent a lot of it. It was essentially like, all right, so here's episode 1. All right, cool. You know what's going on. Episode 2. All right, he's fighting a big guy, and check it out. He's got some armor. And then after that, it's like, come and go to the top of this mountain. You can't come to the top of the mountain. He's like, well, I'm going to try anyways. Oh, fuck, I can't. All right, I'll just time jump.
Yeah.
And I was so confused.
And so in this, I think it's his 3rd episode. He's now, he gets invited. It's essentially the Invitational of Knights to fight for the golden armor.
Oh, he's upgrading.
And he's in the middle of the desert.
He's clearly trained. By the way, his Pegasus power, at first it was just to be like really strong and do a big punch thing. And now it's to do hecka punches.
Yeah,
he does like a flurry.
So if you know anything about anime, imagine like,
machine gun fists.
Yeah, or like, what's his name? Urameshi from Yu Yu Hakusho has like the spirit gun, and then he has the spirit shotgun where he does like a bunch of fucking blasts at the same time.
Yeah, it's this guy.
It's essentially that. Anyways, so he's now in this underground bunker, and the chick that he met earlier, who was the granddaughter of the dude that chloroformed him, is there, right? And
yeah.
She goes, yeah, I'm Athena's fucking, I'm the reincarnation of Athena.
Yeah.
You're here to protect me. Here's the armor. All you knights are invited here to fight for it. And then knights just kind of show up, and they're all there.
Yeah, suddenly I'm like, oh, there are a bunch of these motherfuckers?
Well, yeah,
where are y'all coming from?
The thing is, I knew there's a bunch, right? Because like we know, like the Zodiac.
We know.
But the thing is, like, oh, they've been knights for a while. We're not going to see them slowly get their thing, or he's not going to meet them a bit at a time. They're just all here.
Right. And I'm kind of like, how has he never encountered any knights up until this point?
There's so many.
Because there's so many. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, he did a big tournament arc. I'm aware of that.
Yeah.
There wasn't a single other knight there.
I don't think there would have been another knight there because they were all fighting for
the chance
that one armor, right? So if you were already a knight, why would you be fighting for another armor, right? I don't think you can have it. But the thing is,
but you would expect some people to be like, I really want to see who the new knight's going to be.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, like,
I would.
Because you can go, cool, that's a knight, I'm a knight, essentially, whatever,
like,
right?
we just hired somebody new at my work. We know his name's Kyle, which is just another Kyle in the mix, by the way. I have no fucking clue who he is. Don't know his last name. Don't know anything about him. Nobody knows shit about him. People are like, wait, who's this new fucker? And I'm like, I don't know. We're still trying to figure it out.
He might not be real.
Yeah. We'll know in a couple of weeks. Stuff like that. We want to know if we had the opportunity to go and see, hey, who's the new motherfucker that's going to be with us? I want to check out his shit.
If there was a fighting tournament and you could go watch Kyle fight, you'd be like, I'd be there.
I'm like, I do fighting. I want to see this boy do fighting. And is good fighting? Let's see.
So in this also, because like all the other knights show up, he seems to know some of them already.
Yeah,
he knows their names already, and they know his name.
Betrayed exactly at this point,
and that's where I had a real issue. I was like, you know what? I'm not okay with it, but essentially all the jump cuts and time skips that they've done so far, fine, because I have no control of them. They skip the fighting arc. They skip the him.
I don't like the pacing. but I get what's going on, and I'm learning everything at the same rate.
Exactly.
A little bit, fast forwarded.
But they skipped the 6 years of training. I didn't need any of that.
No.
It's okay. Because
turns out we may have, because he knows these motherfuckers.
Yeah, because some of them he knows by their name, and some of them know him by his name. He doesn't know all of them.
He's like, hey man, how's your family doing? How's George? How's Georgina? How's Georgette?
He meets one named Sean, who's a girl knight. He's like, oh, that one's new. He just been introduced. But other ones, he seems to have some sort of like connections with, or some sort of relationship with.
They've got background.
And then she's like, well, now fuck you. Because first of all, the stuff you skipped, I'm okay with, because I don't really care. But now you've skipped stuff of him meeting other people. That would have been nice to know.
That's the shit that I want to know.
That's the stuff I wanted to see for the first time. Anyways.
And that's where you go, you know what? I thought they were trying to fit a bunch of stuff into 6 episodes because we only had 6. They didn't give a fuck, is what it comes down to. They were like, we kind of want to show some like fights from this arc. And that's what this season was.
It feels like this 6 episode thing, whatever, was like 3 or 4 arcs in a chunk, right?
Could have been 24 episodes. It could have been 38. Like, I don't fucking know.
It feels like it went through like so many chapters of manga. They're like, we got to get through this one and got to get through this one. Anyways, the fucking knights are all there. Some of them have some issues with fighting for the gold armor because they say, hey, we're not supposed to fight for like our personal stuff or whatever. But in my head, like, yeah, but Athena, the chick that you're supposed to be protecting, is right there
to get the thing to protect her, not so that you could be better, but so that she can have better protection, and you know that you would be the best protection.
I just didn't see the big deal with it all, especially because she was the one divvying it out, right? Anyways, there's some fights. The fights are pretty ass, just because it's a lot of like very old school style of they announce their attack, they strike the pose, and the beams get shot out or whatever.
Yeah.
And then
cool. That dude just shot a dragon out of his fist, but did like nothing.
But they also just recycled those same animations over.
Oh, cool. I've seen it.
A la like, Digimon's evolutions and stuff, like them evolving and stuff. They just copy and paste it. And they go, oh, fucking Christ.
And there's no warp digivolve for these attacks. You're seeing the same shit
over and over.
You're
exactly.
Like, oh, fucking cool. They could just jump past all of this.
Nope. So they do the fights. They get attacked by some army people who are trying to take over the fucking gold thing. 4 of them team up. It's the main Saint Seiya. It's the dragon guy. He's the dragon Zodiac. There's the goose one who's like from like Antarctica, who's kind of like he's just a dick, right?
Yeah.
And then there's the chick who her name is Sean and she does, I don't know what hers was. It was like Nebula or something like that. But she
was cool.
She was like one of the characters that had like the most personality or whatever. Her an actual backstory, like. She was taught to defend herself by her older brother, and she learns the way she fights is she doesn't physically harm people. She just fights defensively, and that's how she beats people. Like she beats people with defense because she doesn't want to actually hurt anybody. The 4 of them begrudgingly team up to save Athena, which is the thing they're supposed to do anyways. And they're fighting like tanks and stuff, and they just kind of keep doing their same moves. They go, I'm gonna do the fucking dragon punch, I'm gonna do the fucking beam thing, I'm gonna do the ice thing, I'm gonna do the chain thing, and then they kind of have arguments where they go, hey, we're supposed to be a team and look out for each other, and then they do it again, and then they go, hey, we're fucking friends or whatever. And it's just
it was a whole bunch of back and forth. It's all super wishy-washy. Like it gets to this point and you're like, all right, so since we're not just doing jumps, it turns out that we're just watching the same thing over and over and over, which feels like, who cares? And at this point, we've also been introduced to the only comedic relief, which is just a fucking manhole cover that can talk.
Yeah, he's a manhole cover that has like, he's like the security guard to like letting them into this underground bunker. He was funny. Like that's all there was to it. Like he had like funny bits.
He was like funny in quotations
because there's nothing else that was there to be funny.
They were just jokes, but they weren't like.
He sucked. Yeah. They all sucked. Anyways,
bad.
By the way, Sean happened to mention that she was taught to fight by her brother, and that he also went to go study how to become like one of these knights. But he's dead, and we haven't seen him. And I go, no, he's fucking not.
No,
he's for sure not.
This is anime.
And guess what? He's gonna be a fucking bad guy because you fucking know it.
Yeah, shonen, man. And guess what? You were right.
He shows up.
You were right the whole time.
He's the Phoenix Knight. He's a bad guy. We get to see the background of him becoming the Phoenix Knight. He got sent to like an island with a volcano. And
Hey, do you guys remember when we mentioned the main character was trying to find his sister?
Yeah.
It's been like 12 years.
Hasn't found her.
Nah.
Hasn't even tried. Fucking hasn't
Even tried. That's my favorite part. He's like, I will become this knight so that I can save my sister.
With these, he puts up his dukes. I'm gonna find her with these. Like, how about like a simple like Google search? You know,
nothing goddamn happens with it.
I mean, Athena seems to come from wealth. Can't you be like, hey, yo, bitch, have you seen my sister?
Here's your fucking sister or whatever. She's dead.
Hire a PI or something. You know.
Yeah.
Anyways, the thing continues. They get the armor taken away. Fucking. What's his name? They get knighted by the by Athena. And like, you guys are now my knights. It's like, have they not been your knights before? What the fuck?
I just, you know.
And then they fight the Phoenix guy, and then what's his name? Saiyan gets his shit rocked. He loses his powers. And,
Saiyan does.
And then the three of them, the three other ones fight the Phoenix, and you know, they get fucked. Also, Saiyan comes back and he goes, I'm gonna still fight you. I don't care that I don't have my armor anymore because he lost his armor because he used too much of his cosmos, which is the name for their chakra, their fucking nen, their fucking.
No, they don't call it cosmos. They call it Cosmo, which made me even more uncomfortable.
Cosmo. Yeah, it was called Cosmo.
I hated it so much. I'm like, I get Cosmos.
Yeah,
because like it's more of a Cosmos, general thing, but the Cosmo just feels like,
where's Wanda, dog?
Yeah,
I'm gonna use my Wanda, dog.
It's more of like a person's name. Than
So he comes back. He has no armor. I'm gonna fucking fight you. I'm gonna beat you. And then he gets given pieces of armor from the other people, and they defeat the Phoenix Knight.
Hell yeah!
And then, oh fuck, how does this end? I'm trying to remember how this ends. The 6th episode ends with them defeating the Phoenix Knight. Them trying to escape from this cave that's collapsing, and he's just like, leave me here to die. And then they go, nah man, we don't leave no fucking body behind, we fucking knights. And then I think it's like implied that he's gonna become one of their team. And then at the end there's 2 other knights that we see, and then one of them goes, oh man, I'm gonna get ash on my knight fucking armor, this is the worst, let's go. And then the girl behind him is the girl that fucking trains Seiya, right? She's just a chick with like a metal mask. And that's it. And then I go, no fucking way. This is impossible. This cannot be. Netflix did not fucking do this to me again.
Did you watch till after the credits?
No, I couldn't. What happened after the credits?
Nothing.
No, really? Piece of shit.
It was so stupid.
So here's
oh my God.
Here's the issue. Here's my one of my biggest issues with this show. And it's not the show's fault. It's Netflix's fault. This is what I'm going to complain about first. Netflix has been doing this thing where they get animes on their fucking subscription thing. They drop it whenever they want, at whatever their leisure is. Apparently, in other places, fucking Carol and Tuesday has been out. They got the fucking
been airing.
They got the fucking Teasing Girl show, I'm assuming. And they're holding it hostage.
Back in the day, we were excited to see if the
Kakaguri or fucking Violet Evergarden.
We're excited about those. We also knew that they made Little Witch Academia into a TV show, and we wanted to see that. Had to wait until it
was done.
Yeah,
that's their formula. They like to drop everything at once. But not only are they not dropping things at once, they drop chunks, and they'll cut things in the middle of arcs, either in the middle of an arc, at the beginning of the next arc, not even at the end of an arc. This happened with Baki the Grappler. Yep. They stopped it 2 episodes into the next arc. They fucking did it with Sword Guy. I will give it to them that was probably the end of an arc, but I was like, oh, there's more. Don't do this. I know you have all of it.
I hate that there's more.
So there is for sure at least 6 more episodes of this somewhere.
At least, yeah.
Because that's 12, right? Please don't.
And when you say somewhere, Netflix is making this, so Netflix has this.
Yeah, so I'm like saying like they have it, right? Like it's on a server somewhere. It's on a flash drive somewhere. They just don't want to give it to us.
I mean, they're not done with it.
But the fucking issue that I have is like,
they should have waited
until
they had it all.
Fucking done all 12, because now I have to wait another 6 months or a year for them to be like, hey, guess what, guys? Fucking part 2 or season 2 of fucking Saint Seiya's out. And I go, no, fuck you. The last part of the first season's out. Like,
yeah. Honestly, what happens is the momentum gets killed. Like, you could watch each season and it kind of wraps up and it leads you into the next season with any TV show. Yeah. But with this, they write it in a way where they're like, all right, 12 episodes, we'll just stop it after 6 and continue on after the other 6. But it doesn't feel natural. No. They like kind of give you a cliffhanger, but you're like, No, but like I know that there's a cliffhanger for that, but honestly, there's a lot more going on. You can't kill it when this much is happening because it's not just like, oh, what's the next thing going to be? It's like there's a lot that could potentially happen right now.
And the thing is that it's like, I get why people end things on cliffhangers because cliffhangers are great, you know.
Totally fine.
The fucking Office, you know, would end on a cliffhanger. Someone proposes, someone whoop, cliffhanger, see you next season or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, it's a good way to end a season because then people get excited for the next season. So this didn't really feel like a cliffhanger. It was more like this kind of feels like something that's like, you know, sexy and teasing something that's going to happen. But I go, no, fuck you, because guess what? The 7th episode, whenever it comes out, it's going to be like, hey guys, it's been like, you know,
like a year and a half
in Saint Seiya time, and I go fuck yourself. So all this time for me waiting, they were also waiting. Like, it doesn't fucking matter, right?
It just, I don't know, man. I hate stuff like that. So anyways, Netflix has been holding shows hostage. They've tried all kinds of different things. In other countries, they're cool with just airing episodes of stuff. So Crayola on Tuesday has been airing on Netflix in other countries, no issue. We don't get to deal with that. We get to deal with whatever the fuck they want.
You know what I'm worried about? I'm worried that Carol Tuesday is going to come out and it's just going to suck ass. Like, it's just not going to be good.
I mean, the intro song's fucking fun.
Yeah,
so,
but like,
you know,
the intro of the fucking Saint Seiya was the best thing ever.
It was. We didn't even talk about that. It was way better than any part of the show.
Mm-hmm. So
it was way better than it had the right to be.
Let's get into the animation of this.
Should we?
Yeah.
I thought I already described it.
You described it as like the Dragon Quest or whatever.
Yeah, it just looks like Dragon Quest.
So yeah, that's a style. But I will argue that it actually looks good in my opinion. Like the stylistic choices they did for the models and the world around it is good.
Yeah.
And so
Dragon Quest.
Yeah, so the thing that they decided not to do was to actually animate the show. Like, they use like the fighting scenes, like there's times where like punches feel super light, you know, or things just don't have impact, or they just repeat and recycle stuff. So it's like, oh, they're doing the fucking thing. At one point they blew up the back of a like propeller of a helicopter, and I was like, oh fuck, the helicopter's gonna come down. But the helicopter, so the back propeller blew up, but then it just kind of started spiraling and the propeller was still there. I go, didn't that just blow up with like smoke and fucking explosion bits?
You know what, man? It's fine.
It's the worst.
It's, you know,
the intro is awesome because it really tricked me to thinking that, wow, this show might be animated like really well, because like the intro is just like a anime ass song and like fucking all the saints fighting
Seiya a bunch and
they're doing fucking flips and there's all these fucking knights doing shit. And I go, wow, this looks like it could be good. And then you watch the show and it just, there's no cool animation. I watched the dub. The dub was shit.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna watch that shit subbed.
No way. There's no way it was gonna be better. Yeah, man.
Honestly, the dub was, as far as dubs go, this felt like a real like kids show dub.
Yeah,
it was fine.
It felt, yeah, but what they should have done.
It's just because the dialogue sucked, so I feel like they just couldn't have done a good job.
The premise is for the Saint Seiya thing is fine.
It's fine.
You know, it's just a shonen thing. What they should have done is use the technology we have now to make better animations. They should have, you know, taken the same characters and they should have just fucking redone it, rewrote the story arc, make it similar. It doesn't have to be fucking note for note from the original anime or the original manga, but like, you know, get the fucking gist right. Have some character development.
Have the core elements of the character and add more.
Yeah, and you know, just fucking why was just the pacing was so off. It was like, it felt very like. At first I thought, oh, maybe this is like a, you know, an example of like old anime, just bad pacing, right? But it's like, no, it's not only the old anime pacing where shit's happening at a snail's pace, it's also snail's pace stuff, and then you just cut a bunch of shit out, and then we're flung 4 years in the future, or it's been months now, and we don't know where we are, and they don't make it very clear as to what's going on.
It's frustrating.
Yeah, so
it's not for anybody.
No,
nobody should watch this.
I mean, if you're a huge diehard Saint Seiya fan, watch it. And if you like it, let us know. Because I feel like if they did this with the show that I was a huge fan with as a kid,
I would have been upset.
I'd be disappointed. I'd be like, yo, man, you really fucked this over. I wish we had the Uber driver's number. But hey, man,
true. Like,
how bad was that Saint Seiya?
They're pretty fucked up,
you
right?
Just go, oh, yes, number one, best anime ever.
Well, I mean, what it comes down to is Digimon. Let's bring this up since we talked about Digimon earlier. Digimon decided, hey, you know what? Let's make a nostalgic thing for a bunch of like old fans. But instead of like remaking what they already know and love, why don't we just make a like future time story?
Continuation, yeah.
And that was cool and it was unique and they added more things and added more to the characters. it wasn't for me at this age, but I appreciate it. Like, I feel like it's this whole different thing, and it's really cool, and they put a lot of love and care into it, and you could really feel that. With this, it's like they took some fans of the show or the manga or whatever the fuck,
the anime,
and then they decided to just, I don't know, give up.
They redid it, but just a poor job of it.
Everyone got really excited. They're like, I loved that as a kid. And then as they are remembering it more, they're like, you know, the show wasn't that great. I guess it was fun as a kid, though.
Yeah, maybe
instead of taking people that understand children's television or whatever.
Yeah, they should have just redone it or done a sequel, like you said. I mean, like just redo it completely, not just try to recreate what it was, you know, because it just doesn't translate well to this day and age. I still really like the models. I still really like the texturing on everything. When we see 3D animations and a lot of stuff, everything feels really flat or doesn't feel like it has shading, right? The lighting in the show is really good. I feel like
the environments were not great.
No, they weren't. But
they were the worst part of like the 3D elements.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. Like if as an animator, if I could get my hands on one of these Saint Seiya rigs to animate, I'd be like, I would fucking be making it do flips like crazy. But there's sometimes they made like choices for like costumes and shit. Like I was really confused. Like there's the bit where he's walking in the desert and he just happens to have a giant sombrero.
You know,
I go, where the fuck did you get this?
Anime.
Again,
honestly, that could be one of those little bits that's in an anime.
Yeah.
And it would have totally worked, but it felt so ingenuine and fake in this world. Versus, oh, that's a funny little bit. Like, he totally would have that.
Maybe like in the manga, like there's a chapter where he's walking through the desert and like he just has this big sombrero, and people for the old school people like, oh, I remember that. That's super cool. But for me, I go, this is dumb as fuck. What is going on here?
And instead of them having any line that's like, hey man, where the fuck did you get that sombrero? And be like, man, it's the desert. You have to have one. Like, instead of making a little joke like that, they didn't address it really. So
the bit with the manhole cover, right? Because those were like the most comedic bits.
Yeah.
So he leaves the fucking bunker because he needs some air. He can't handle what's going on downstairs, and then he can't get back in because the bunker doesn't know that he's a saint because he doesn't have his medallion on. Because before he left, he took his medallion off. Why the fuck would he take his medallion off?
It was hot.
Oh, that's why it was hot.
I don't know.
Yeah, but what is it? How dumb was that? Right? It was so convoluted.
No, it was really stupid.
Look, this show isn't for anybody. If you're a Saint Seiya, if you're a Saint Seiya fan and you happen to watch this and liked it, let us know.
Oh my god!
If you hated it, please tell us also how much you hated it because we didn't really enjoy it at all. I'm glad I watched it. I like watching shit things and being like, this is shit. Why is it so bad? And try to wrap my brain around why things can be so bad.
6 episodes. I don't think I could have handled a full 12 of that kind of pacing.
I could have handled 12 episodes of trash. Oh yeah, I'm that kind of person.
I know you are.
I'm a fucking masochist.
You could eat that. It's fucked up.
But 6 episodes, I'm glad. It's like cool. It's like 2.5 hours of my life or whatever. I'm like, good, I'm done. Next week we're gonna watch something completely different. Do you got anything else to say about Saint Seiya?
Just avoid it.
Yeah, just don't watch it.
Netflix has been just a disappointing anime venture.
Yeah.
They should get out of the anime game. Keep licensing it. Keep displaying. If you want to get into the anime game, the right way is not through animation.
Yeah.
The right way is through licensing.
Yeah, just get people to do good stuff for you.
Yeah. Get rid of Polygon Pictures and bring in some other new folk and let them actually write good shit.
Yeah. All right, man. That's it for Saint Seiya. If you like our logo, hit up Aaron from TreviTops.com. If you like our theme song, check out Tom Nasser on SoundCloud and YouTube. Trip, where can people find us?
You can find us on Facebook. Look up the Instant Ramen Podcast. You can find us on Instagram. Look up the Instant Ramen Podcast. You can tweet at us at Instant Ramen Pod.
Podcast benefit.
You can shoot us an email, instantramenpodcast@gmail.com. And we are now the first anime podcast to be hosted on Pornhub live.
That's not true.
No?
That's a lie.
Okay, well, I've told a lot of people a lot of incorrect things.
Is this why you've been naked the whole time?
Yes.
Oh, fuck. So next week we're going to be watching something completely different.
Yep.
Anything would cleanse my palate.
Not some complete fucking garbage TV show is what you're saying.
Yeah, something way worse.
Okay, cool. Great. Perfect.
Sorry if this episode was long. I mean, I have no gauges.
It's not. It's like an hour and a half. Fuck you.
The beginning chunk of us was just talking about stuff because we really wanted to avoid talking about the main topic.
Yeah, mostly.
Anyways, this is Bye from Juan.
I'll see you around from Chris.
Hey, Trip, don't forget.
Just add hot water.